Hello. Today I'd like to reverse engineer this automotive control arm bracket. Now this one here in particular was broken. It's not my vehicle. I don't have this type of vehicle, but I thought this was interesting and I thought I could show how you could reverse engineer something. So let's take a look at this bracket. This bracket here is cracked. It is an aluminum billet. CNC milled or something. So let's say that you had this bracket on your vehicle and you wanted to replace it. So you could, order a new one. I think they're $250 for two or something like that. But if you had access to a CNC, or if you wanted to make this out of steel, we could do it that way. So I'm going to show you how you can take this image and we can import it and we can do some sketches and make this part ourselves in 3D. And then, possibly you could 3D print it. 3D print is not going to be strong enough, but then you could use this for, fitting purposes and stuff like that if you wanted to. But the final product, you can CNC it, or grind it, whatever, however you want to make it. So your manufacturing method. So so I'm going to take this image and I found a better image of it without the crack and in a better orientation. So let me show you that one. And this guy is here. It's slightly different, but essentially it's the same thing. A lower control arm. So what I want to do is I want to import this image into Onshape. So I'm going to do that now. So I have Onshape here. This is a free subscription and allows for public data. So if you save anything on this, it's public data and anybody can access this data for free. All right. I will go to create new document and I will name this document, just Control V, paste that lower control arm. Okay. So now I want to paste it onto one of these faces right here, one of these planes. So right now I want to hide one of these. So I'm going to click on this little eyeball, or I can actually click on this, left click, right click, and then hide that right plane. Okay. Now I want to go to my front plane and I can take this and I can drag this down if I want to. I like to do that. Let's go with the right plane and we will insert our image now. All right. Let's go to create a sketch. So create a sketch on this surface right here. So I just hit sketch, hit this plane right here, and it creates a sketch one. Okay. So now we go over here to this DXF and we want to insert image. All right. So we will go to import and we will import that nice flat image. We will click on this guy right here. We'll click on the little dot right there and we're going to throw him in there. Okay. So click, hold, just drop it in there. So now the first thing is I don't know the true size of this. I'm just taking a guess. So this is just for, just to show you how it's possible to do this. So let's say these are 8mm holes. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to create a hole. I'm going to go over here, create a center point and click here and go to about, actually that 8mm almost popped up perfectly. So let me take that. I'm going to drag this over here. Not that. Control Z to get out of that. And yeah, we just got to get out of that circle. So we can just click on that. As long as we're out of that circle, it was in the circle. So now uncheck that. It's not selected anything. Now I can do this. Okay. So I think this is the proper size. Let me go to the D dimension here. Click on this guy. Click on that guy. There we go. And we want to change this to 8mm. All right. See how it's scaled automatically. So everything was made a little bit smaller, and that is the scaling function. All right. So now we're just going by that. I don't know the true size of this, so I'm just doing this for learning purposes, teaching and learning. Okay. So what I will do now is I will start to sketch this guy out. All right. So this here, I want to. This is kind of like locked in position. Click out of that. I want to fix this into position. I don't want it to move. So fix that guy. So he's like stuck. Okay. He shouldn't be able to move. So the scale should not move. So now I can do, I can just go do some tracing around this guy. So let's click here. We're going to do some tracing. And if you hover over here, you can get that to curve automatically. Okay. And then we could just, I'm going to build this, semi-straight and go about right there, and then I'm gonna, looks like it's got a little curve to it. I'm gonna I'm going to skip that curve. If you want to put a curve in, you could do a Bezier curve or spline here. So let's do that. Let's just create a straight line. And then here I want to do a radius, okay? Let me not snap everything. See how it's not lining up perfectly? So what I can do is I can create a spline. And it's probably best if you had this part in your hands, you want to take some pictures of it, maybe a top view, a really good top view picture, and then you would be able to get this, you know, made. You could reverse engineer this much better, but I don't have a perfect top view. You can see this is slightly tilted, so that's telling me that this is not perfectly top view. So it's a good start though. So let me click here. Let me keep going all the way down here. Looks like that top one is totally flat, and now I can kind of hover over that one, and I can get my curve going there. All right, and then I can escape out of that, and that makes my first shape. So now I can extrude that as it is, or I can start filling out these little holes and stuff. So I can do those right now. So let's create some lines. So L for line. And I'll do this, and let's see if I can. I'll do those afterwards. Hit L to get out. L here. L. I'm just hitting L start, L stop. L to start the line, L to stop the line. So that's what I'm saying. L right there, L here to here. And these are just for weight savings, probably. You probably don't even need to remove this material, because I don't think these most likely do not add any additional strength characteristics to this piece. This one's a little bit round, so I'm going to choose a Bezier spline, or I'm just a spline, and go try to create that shape right there. Get out of that, hit escape, I think. Yeah, escape will do that. So now we can put in these corners here. We can go here, click here, here, and then kind of drag this guy to the size that we want, okay? That should do it. It doesn't, those two didn't connect, so that's why I didn't do that. Here's what we can do. We can choose a 3-point arc. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's not a perfect, but it does work. 1, 2, 3. We can just match them up. 1, 2, 3. That little sign that's popping up there, that means it's tangent. We'll keep that. We like tangency. Looks better whenever you see that. That one kind of goofed. Fix that one. There we go. Perfect. And there we are. All right. So now we're going to extrude this guy. And I see that this is kind of popped out a little bit. I can fix that in a minute. So actually, I want to create those little holes right there. It says there, it doesn't like that red area right there. So I'll delete this guy. Actually, no, I'm not going to delete that. I'm going to delete this guy right here. And that will fix that. Okay. So now let's put in 8mm holes here. We can fix the dimensions after. D for dimension, or click right there. 8. 8. All right, and then we can finish that. Now everything looks good. Now I can do a extrude. We can grab this sketch and we can see it's extruding. We don't know the exact size of this. I don't have a thickness of it or anything like that. So I'm going to say 25 millimeters is probably correct. Let's go 20 millimeters and say that's going to be it. So there's our beginning piece of it. See how it just hid the sketch from me, so I can click on the little eyeball to see my sketch again. And it shows me that we have some recesses going on inside of here. So let me create another sketch on top of this surface now. And then I can sketch out that line right there. So let me go to sketch. I'm going to click on this face right here and go to my front view. I want to get it normalized. And now I want to create this outside edge right here. So let's create, no, we're not going to create a box. A box looks like there's a little curvature going on. L to get out, L to start. This is a curve. I'm going to keep that curve. L. I'm going to go all the way over here. L to get out of that, and then I'm going to create a curve here. So our spline, keep calling splines curves, but yeah, here's what you can do. Just click and keep going, and we can adjust this afterwards. So click right there. Click on that to get out. Nope, don't do that. Let's try that again. Spline. So we're going to hit escape on this next time. We can adjust these, like I said, afterwards if you want to. So escape to get out of that, and that got the right click, and we can confirm that spline. Okay. So now we want to do this guy. We're going to do a spline here. Let's do click right there, and then create this little line right here. I don't want it to be totally flat and horizontal. There we go. All right. So I'm just gonna. I can't really see it perfectly, so I'm just kind of going with what I think is there. This image could be a little better, could have more contrast, and confirm spline. Could have, you know, maybe it's painted black or something like that that has a little more contrast. Right now, this is a very shiny aluminum piece, so click there, and then we can drag that in. As long as he touches, he's good. To left click and then hit enter, get out of there, and then this should be the same size, I would assume. Let's try that one. Left click, enter, good. Okay, perfect. All right, so now we can do an extrusion and then extrude this guy inboard and remove some material. Okay, so let's go to extrude, click in this guy right here, and we will do a remove. Okay, we're actually removing material. Let's say that's 10 millimeters down. All right, so let's take a look at the side view, and looks like it's cutting through that, which is good. Okay, and then merge with part 1. Yes, looks correct. Now part 1, for some reason, this guy looks like he changed size. So let me go back to that extrude. That's 20 millimeters. Yes, that's good. I think I know what happened. So it extruded everything. Extrude opposite of what I wanted. So let's go back to extrude, and we can click on that face, hold shift key down, and it should undo that selection right there. Let's see if that worked. Nope. All right, I'm just going to delete this extrude. So delete. All right, let's go back to extrude. We're going to check and make sure it's only that inner area right there. Yes, that's it. Okay, and I'm going to remove, and I'm going to go down 10 millimeters. We can do this twice if you want to, this side and the other side if you want. That's probably the best idea. That looks a little bit deep, so I'm going to change that to, let's say, 7 millimeters. Okay, and okay. So that has just removed. Let's hide the sketch and we can see this a little better. So click on the little eyeball, and now we see that is correct now. Okay, so now if we want to do the same thing for the opposite side, we can just create another extrude, and if we don't see that sketch, we just make sure our eyeballs are on, do not have slashes through your eyeballs. So this is show, so we click on that right there, and now we can go down here and we want to do a starting offset. Blind, we want to change that to entity. We want to click on the entity to start from. And then we want to change this to, I think we said 7mm, and we want to remove. Okay, so entity face, flip this. We want to flip that. There we go. So now it's taken into it, and there we go. We got our two pieces. Now if that little sketch is bothering you, you can always click and hide that guy. So this is our piece now. Okay, now let's go back. We gotta look, and we got a hole over here, so let's create a little hole. And looks like we get some sort of change in height here. I'm not going to worry about that in this this design. And this one right here is probably an 8mm hole, so let's go with a sketch. I'm going to sketch on the surface right here. We're going to grab a lower little hole. We're going to click on front, get on there, slide this all the way over, and click right here. Now this is the bushing. The bushing is going to go inside of there and you know, hold it in there. So this may have to be modified. You know what, we're going to have to modify this to the outside surface size. So let me grab a dimension here, and then I will click on this guy and let me put in like 15. Yeah, that's about right. It's close. So I don't know the true size. Let's say 16, but most likely it's a pressed fit bearing or bushing going in there. Let me click on this guy. Nope, it doesn't. Okay, I got to get out of that before I can actually grab it. So click on that right there. Click on this guy now, and now we can float this guy around. Okay, so click OK. So this is going to be extruded. Extrude that guy all the way through. We're going to remove and say OK. It's going to go through the whole thing. I'm going to hide that sketch so we can see through it. All right, so that's our piece right now, our lower control arm, and we'll have to find out what size that bushing is that goes inside of there. And you know, so but this gives you a good starting point of how you can reverse engineer your things around, you know, for your vehicle or your house, and you can build these things from a picture. You know, you should know the dimensions. If you have the physical part in your hand, you know the dimensions and size. You know, you check a couple sizes and you take very good pictures of top views, side views, and front views, stuff like that. And you can get a very good representation and reverse engineer this part. So hopefully this video was beneficial. Like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.